Today we will be making zesty chicken tortilla bake. First of all, you want to cut up some white chicken breasts, lightly brown it or cook it until it's done basically. I put this in a food processor to really break it down. It's almost like a ground texture. And I also added bell peppers and onions. This is makes about 4 to 5 servings. Second of all, once you get your meat done, you let that just kind of stay on the stove there. Then we have a mixture here of salad dressing and flour, about 1/4 cup of each. And we're going to stir it up until it becomes kind of similar to like a roux consistency. Then we'll be adding our milk here, which is about 1.5 cups of milk to this mixture here. Didn't make homemade tortillas, so I bought some at the local Latino market over South Omaha, and these are the small ones. Again, this dish makes about 4 to 5 servings. It also entails salsa and lots of my favorite cheese. I will be using a combination of these two instead of cheddar only. Now I will basically be measuring out about, let's say about 4 ounces of cheddar cheese. I'm going to use a mixture as I mentioned earlier. And we got our consistency of our salad dressing and our flour. As you can see, it's kind of like a ball, pasty type of texture. Make a little ball out of that actually. Actually take that off the eye and set that there. Move our milk over here. So we're going to slowly be adding this here next. So what I'll do is slowly add in some milk. Got that one. Return it to the low fire. There we go. And again, this is going to be like a roux-ish texture, and adding the milk, it'll be kind of like a sauce when I'm done. Instead of using that spoon, I'm going to get my handy miniature whisk. Mixes up quite a bit of things here with this, a lot better. Kind of stir that up, whisk it up, get those little balls out of there. Probably should have added the milk a little sooner, but that's okay. It'll melt, it'll dissolve down eventually. Some whisking action going on here. You could use a larger saucepan also if you like, but I'm not a very messy cook, so I don't usually overfill or splatter things when I cook, so I don't like cleaning up the mess. Okay, I've added 1 cup of milk, and we'll be adding another cup soon here. Let that cook down just a little bit. Oh, I got the sniffles going on today. Now, what I'll do here, so I have a scale, and it calls for 1 8-ounce package of cheese, but instead, what I'm going to do is just kind of divide them up and split those babies in half. And I'll do that on my Biggest Loser scale. And I'll Put that on there and let that tear out. That's salad plate there, and I'll do the weighing on there. So I'll do 2 ounces of each of these cheeses. And about 1.6, 2.2, close enough. I'm a big cheese fan, so this will be right on time. Baby doesn't eat this, so this is a dish specifically for me. And we're going to get up to 4 ounces there. 3.8. One more should do it. 4.0 even. Alright, so we got our cheeses ready to go. Okay. Now our sauce is pretty much done. It's kind of like a gravy consistency. And I'm going to give it a little douse of Camino powder in there. Give it a nice little brownish color, as you'll see when I pour it in the larger saucepan here. Actually, you can use a larger saucepan about like this instead of this little small one, and you'll eliminate this step. Okay, so here's our kind of thinner sauce than gravy, but it will thicken up because of the flour that's in there. Put that over here on my sauce tray. One more piece. Uh-oh. Don't want that. Get that out of there. And a little ball didn't seem to want to dissolve down. Give it a little bit more whisking in there. Here, baby. There we go. Okay, now we're going to add a cup of the cheese there. Okay, about a cup of cheese, and I'm just going to kind of estimate this. Actually, we're going to do about a cup of cheese, and we're going to reserve, let that melt down and reserve. So I've got a nice chunk of mozzarella in there. I think I'll eat that. Now, since that's cheese there, I'm going to get a different spoon. Just stir that up slowly until it melts down. Our cheese is pretty much melted down already. And as I was saying, it calls for salsa. And I just bought some great value. Just a mild, chunky salsa from Walmart. Oh, nice and chunky. And when I do salsa, I usually like to stir it up a little bit before I get it out of the jar. Unfortunately, I picked the wrong spoon, but that's okay. What we're going to do, it calls for about 1/4 cup of salsa, or 1/2 cup, I'm sorry. But I'm going to, since this is just for 4 or 5 servings, I'm just going to add about 1/4 cup. I can pretty much estimate this. Add that in our white sauce here, which is flour. Again, it's flour and salad dressing. It's got some good old Kraft potato salad dressing, as I call it, because it's sweeter than mayonnaise. That's about 1/4 cup of salsa. And I'm going to go and add a little bit more, get some of them chunks in there. There we go. Okay. So we got our salsa going. Stir that up. cups a little bit more. Now it's kind of a reddish white sauce. I don't know if you can see that, but this is what it looks like there. You can see the cheese in there. Camino powder again was added to give it more of a Latino twist to it. Camino powder is kind of a mixture of chili powder, pepper, and a few other seasonings that I really don't know about, so I'm not going to name them off guessing. But it gives it a very unique flavor. Here's our chicken. We're going to add this to our sauce. Go add and stir. So you get that all mixed up. You don't want big hunks of chicken in there. And this time I'm just going to go for the gusto. Get it all in there. Alright, there we go. All in there, out of there. Throw that away. Okay. And we're going to just kind of mix this up a little better. So this is what's going to go in the middle of our tortillas. And you want to have your oven on this preheated to about, it says 375 recommended. However, I like to cook things a little slower, allow the flavors to flow through the foundation, which is our tortilla, and the meat, the chicken, to absorb the flavor. So give everything a chance to blend really nice. If you have it too high heat on the oven, you can get too intense of flavors, or you can burn things. We don't want to do that. As you can see, I keep my apron very clean when I cook. I'm not a messy cooker at all. Just like I eat, I use one napkin per meal usually, and most of the time it's not even dirty. I have a pet peeve about dirtying up things cooking, although to each his own. Okay. Now what we're going to do here is get ready to fill our tortillas. Once I turn off this back burner, fill our tortillas, and I'm going to fill up probably about 4 to 5. I may be able to squeeze 6. You do have to reserve 1 cup of this sauce. So we're going to just scoop out a cup of this sauce and reserve that. And what that's going to be used for, it's going to go over the top of the filled tortillas once we get those in the pan there, I'm sorry. So we're just going to fill up 1 cup. As you can see, I'm very careful. I don't like making messes. Again, it's one of my largest pet peeves in the kitchen. Okay. So we'll sit that back there. Get that off my finger there, because I don't want to. Not very sanitary to wipe on your apron a whole lot. Sometimes it can cause cross-contamination. Okay. Now here's our tortillas. So what I'm going to do here, leave this there. I got to get something to roll this out on. My granite cutting board. That'll be fine sitting on that eye. This is pure 100% granite, so it won't do anything. It'll take it a long time to get hot. Okay, so what I can do is basically have this set up as a little system. I am going to use some of my butter cooking spray just to kind of coat it. You can use regular vegetable, canola oil, whatever. Just going to want to kind of feel these. I'm going to roll them up. Seam side down. So we got one there. And you will see the filling come out, but that's all right. It's going to get eaten up, and that's part of the dish. It's kind of a filled tortilla. It's not a pocket per se, like a burrito. Okay, we got 2. There's that there. Okay. Okay, I kind of like to overfill when I do this because I like my things to be soft and moist. Don't want them to be crunchy. Not in this case. Another tortilla here. Let's see, we're kind of running out of our sauce here. We have very little we have very little sauce left, as you can see. So like I say, this probably will make about 5. Closer to the end there, getting kind of hard to put these in there. Okay, looks like I'll be able to get probably another 1 in here. There we go. They're ready. Get over here. And you just kind of wrap that baby up like that. Take it, doop, da-da, done deal. Okay. I'm going to put a little space between each of these, actually. Get my drawer open. Good old silicone tongs. Leave about a space or so between each one, since I can't fit another one in there. And that'll allow for that sauce to kind of manipulate the openings in there. This one I'm just going to kind of pick up and slide down. There we go. Okay. Alright. Done with our tortillas there. Those, and put those in my food saver and use those another time. Food saver is a food vacuum sealing system that preserves food for a very long time. Actually, it vacuum seals it, so therefore there's no air in it. We'll add that little bit to our sauce there. This is our reserve sauce. Okay, we're done with that. Now what I'll do is go ahead and let's see, place the remaining sauce. Try to get you in a little closer there. There we go. What I'm doing here is placing the remaining sauce over each tortilla that's already filled. As you can see, beautiful. And you can see the sauce is going down there, manipulating the creases there between each tortilla. And this here, and it's a nice texture, nice thickness. It's not too runny, as you can see. I want to get a little bit on this crease here, along the side of the pan. Okay. Okay, got all that done. Now what I'm going to do, just on GP, is just kind of spread it. You don't have to do this, but like I say, I'm particular about how I like things. And if you leave some of those edges of those tortillas untouched, they will be crispy or very hard. And I don't want mine like that. If you like crispier, I wouldn't even suggest putting the reserve sauce over it. You can save it for another meal. Okay, so there we go. There's that. And we got some more cheese left. So what we're going to do here, let's see. Do I want to top this with the cheese or not? I think what I'll do here is I'm going to add a little bit of cheese to the top of this. Just a little bit. And this is a taco blend cheese. and then which is a fine shredded cheese you can buy in the store. Oh, what the heck, let's just go ahead and use all of it. And then the other cheese that you see with the white in it is a 3 blend cheese. Okay, that's done. Get my granite cutting board there out of the way. And this baby is ready to go in the oven. And this is how these look prior to being browned and after being put in the oven. This is how they look when they go in. Now, you do not have to put any foil on top of this if you don't want to. It's up to you. In my case, like I say, I don't like things to be really crunchy. So therefore, I am going to go ahead and put foil over this. If you do choose to use foil, make sure you spray it first. Just give it a nice douse. That way your cheese won't stick to it. And I usually can make a pretty nice little pocket. As you can see, this is kind of rounded at the top. You can stick a finger there and it'll kind of pull it up. And it'll keep it from going on top of the food. And have a little air, I call it an air pocket, kind of air rise pocket. There. You can see it won't stick to the food like that either if you don't have the cooking spray. Kind of give it a little finger there. As you can see, that has a risen top, like it's not just flat on there, because it can stick if you don't have that cooking spray on it. Alright, we're going to put these in the oven for about 15-20 minutes. Alright. And we'll come back in about 20-30 minutes, check out the finished product, see what's up with it, how it tastes and everything. See you then. Okay, we back rolling. We're getting ready to see how these babies came out. Help to move the eye cover there. Burn up the other ones. Don't want to burn these up. That's why I got black. They get burnt, you can't tell. Okay. What I'm going to do is take that off. Look at that. Watch out there now. That's how they look, done, ready to go. Ready to put them on a plate and throw down. Okay. As you can see, pardon me for a minute. Got to be very careful. As you can see, the sides on there, see how your sauce got all manipulated, every crease. That's why we spread them. Alright, be back in a minute and we're going to put them on a plate and see what they're hidden for. Now what I suggest doing is you can let these set and cool down for a good, I'd say 10-15 minutes. What happens is the cheeses and everything kind of solidify more. Or just for time's sake here, I'm just going to kind of estimate where that 1-inch tortilla spreads at. And scoop this baby out of here to the best of my ability. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I got that one. There's a look at that cheese. Wow. Put that little deal there. That's some of the filling that we put on top. And these you can eat 1 or 2. In my case, I'm gonna eat 1 right now. But I cut another one, that way it'll be a little easier. But like I say, you can let these set and cool off. It makes for easier cutting if you're not too good with a spatula, or if you have a really skinny spatula. I'm kind of used to doing this, so, and also kind of scrape under the bottoms of them like this. If you scrape under the bottom, you can usually just lift it up, boom, da-da, there you go, without tearing it all up. And like my mom said, it's all going in one place anyway, so if it tears up, so be it. Get a fork and get the rest out and call it a day. Okay. Now what we're going to do here, grab a fork. I like a particular fork. I love this one for some reason. Oh, look at that. Cut into that. That looks great. See the inside there? It's got the nice filling in there. It's not a bunch of dough. I want to take a taste of this and see. It is scrumptious. It has a very nice flavor, not too strong. It's almost like a, instead of a red enchilada sauce, this is more of a white sauce. It's used with salad dressing. It does have about 500 calories for every, I believe it's 2. Let me double check. Let's see. Yeah, about 500 calories for every 2. So one of these is about 250. But if you eat this baby, say if you have some rice on the side, little veggies going on, 1 will be enough depending on your sides. You load up on your sides. If you're watching your calories, just load up more on your healthier sides. Your veggies, small portion of rice, maybe a heaping portion of veggies. Nice beverage, something that's low-cal, calorie-free. You'll be good to go. And you can always snack on one later as just a snack. 250 calories, that's all that's in it. And you'll be full for a minute. So, basically, that's the end of the preparation of the zesty chicken tortilla bake. Very simple, not too fat, not too fatty I should say, but very simple, easy to make, and it tastes very good. Do this very quick. If you double the recipe, the meat on there I forgot to mention, that's a pound and a pound and let's see, about 1.25 pounds of meat. If you want to use this and make 8 servings, you want to use 1.5 pounds of chicken breast. And then you double everything else. You use your 3 cups of milk, 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, 1/2 cup of salsa, and then for your onions and bell pepper, those are optional. And your cheese, if you're going to do the 8 serving, you want to use a full package of cheese, 8 ounces. Any kind of cheese you want. So, also you got to use your flour too. You'd use a 1/2 cup of flour instead of a 1/4 cup to mix in with your salad dressing. So, go check it out. Hit up the kitchen. Quick to make. Family will love it. Kids will love it. I'm out.